Jonesboro, Arkansas, Section 1, that we do hereby urge members of the Arkansas Congressional Delegation and the Arkansas Legislature to work for passage and vote in favor of legislation requiring the collection and remittance of state and local sales tax by all retailers, thus making for competition and true free market and giving every business an equal opportunity to compete, innovate, and create jobs. Section 2, moreover, we do hereby urge Governor Asa Hutchinson to call for a special session as quickly as possible to address this most important issue for the benefit of the state's local retail businesses and its citizens. Now I'm done.
Okay, now it's been read. Okay, go ahead, Councilman.
I want to say a few words on this. I want to see our local merchants succeed. I want to see them have a safe city to do business in. I want to see them have a favorable tax structure in which to operate, one that's not too burdensome or unfair. I want to encourage them to take advantage of every legal opportunity to earn consumers' business every day. When I can, I buy local. As a matter of fact, I paid more for a product recently than I could have purchased it online just to buy local. So I do support our local businesses. I do not, however, support any attempt to exploit local business support as a ruse to increase state tax revenue. With that said, I also think it's deceiving how the internet sales tax legislation was presented by some in a way that made it seem like it was supposed to be all for the good of local retailers. Truth be known, it's just one of multiple ways this past session tried to increase the taxes on the people of Arkansas, which includes us. In essence, I do not see this tax proposal as funding progress, but enabling a debilitating and bankrupting lust for power spending and control that seems to be rampant by many in office. When we allow our governments, whether it be local, state, or federal, to reach into our back pockets again and again, knowing they have not handled the money we have already entrusted to them properly, we are doing nothing more than enabling, promoting, and proliferating a habitual practice that's already out of control. As it stands right now, it is unconstitutional for a state to mandate any out-of-state business that does not have a physical presence in that state to collect sales, county, city taxes for remission in that state. This was brought to light and confirmed during the recent legislative session. We hear terms like exploit the law. When one follows federal law, I think it's odd to say that it's being exploited. I guess I exploit traffic laws and other laws every day just by being a good citizen. It's my opinion that what is being exploited is the kind hearts and desire for Arkansans to help local business, when in fact, it's doing nothing more than giving big government more money to waste. Right now, retailers in Jonesboro can be seen as both local business and an out-of-state business. Every business in Jonesboro that does not operate a physical location in another state is an out-of-state business to that state. There is no law, statute, ordinance, or any other legality preventing any Jonesboro merchant from exploiting the same federal law and marketing their online product in any other out-of-state market they want. Increasing their internet sales footprint and competing in other states and exploiting the same laws as other out-of-state retailers is totally within their right and prerogative if they choose. I checked FedEx shipping rates, and one would pay more for a 2-pound package to be shipped FedEx ground 2 to 3 days delivery than what our tax rate is. Many times this rate is absorbed as a cost by the retailer that has to ship that package. Our local businesses may have to charge tax to that out-of-state retailer that the out-of-state retailer doesn't, but they do not have to ship it, and in majority of cases, the cost to ship is more than the tax collected. With this being said, I don't think people buy online mainly because it's cheaper, but because they can shop at 11 o'clock at night in the privacy of their own homes and get it shipped directly to their house, or it may be because they can't find a desired item locally. The points I want to make are simple. Average citizens only have so much to spend, and when that money is gone, we're done spending. We can't print money, nor can we operate in a deficit like state and federal governments. When we, the people, are out of money, we're through spending at local restaurants, grocery stores, malls, gas stations, convenience stores, repair shops, etc. We don't hire plumbers, lawyers, and inspectors. We put off going to the doctor because we don't have co-pays or can't afford the out-of-pocket expenses. Number two, if this law is not a new tax, then why do we need additional legislation? Why do we need to create new category of tax called sales and use when we already have a sales tax and a use tax? And why is it going to cost us more money? All in all, I can't see how taking upwards of $100 million or more of purchasing power out of the hands of people and shifting it to a state government that spends millions of dollars on faulty or unusable computer programs for Medicaid expansion, or spends thousands of dollars on pet projects for legislators just for a vote on certain legislation is good for our economy. Our state government spends 35 to 45% more taxpayer dollars per capita or for each person than our contiguous states, and 39% more than the U.S. average. Our state government has 37.5 to 39% more non-educational state employees per 10,000 residents than other comparable states. I'm not against tax increases, but I do think I can spend my money more wisely than the state can at this given time. How can this be good for local retailers? If Arkansas just reduced our state employees down to the average of other states, we would save upwards to $8.8 billion, and that's billion with a B. Therefore, I cannot, with clear conscience, vote to support any resolution or any effort to take close to $100 million from the pockets of hardworking Arkansans and from the retail stores of our local businesses. This includes no telling how much from the citizens of Jonesboro alone, knowing good and well that if it were set to a vote before the people, they would vote it down wholeheartedly. How can we as a body elected to represent the people of Jonesboro vote to support something that we know would fail significantly if put to a vote? A poll was conducted recently on this issue, and an average of 74% agree that internet should remain as free from government regulation and taxation as possible. 88% of Republicans, 78% independents, 59% Democrats, 83% of conservatives voted to keep it the same and keep it free from government taxation. For me to sit up here and vote to propagate and support an initiative that is squarely in opposition to the majority of those who voted for me to represent them is an abandonment of the people who put me here. The Municipal League didn't put me in this chair. The people of Jonesboro put me in this chair, and I'll do my best to hear from them and act accordingly. This is why I recently sent a message to all our local representatives and senators urging them to not only continue to vote against this legislation as it rears its ugly head, but to enact new legislation that would repeal any existing law that requires citizens of Arkansas to self-report and remit sales tax voluntarily. I think it's unfair to hold responsible the people of Arkansas to become tax attorneys and understand the list of internet purchases that are or are not taxable items found in the Department of Finance and Administration regulations. And lastly, I want to say that regardless of the outcome of this vote, either way, I respect all my fellow aldermen and our mayor, and most of all, the citizens of the great city of Jonesboro. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to make a comment? I've got one, but anybody else want to make a comment? Okay. Basically, what this is the city council, if they adopt this proclamation, the Arkansas Municipal League, which consists of 501 cities throughout the entire state of Arkansas, has asked the cities to pass this to be sent to so they can take it to the governor to call a special session sometime probably in August or 1st of September. So this can be voted on at the Capitol. The resolution, again, on this one, has, as stated previously, is not a new tax. In fact, lawfully, Arkansas residents are required to report any amount of money purchased on online items on an annual basis. However, this law is not being enforced currently. Last year alone, 70 Arkansans reported only the amount of money spent on online purchases on tax returns, and there's 3 million residents in the state of Arkansas. Arkansas cities are losing approximately $25 million annually because there is no procedure in place to collect online sales. This is a conservative dollar figure on the $25 million. Arkansas sales tax receipts in May were up 7.2% over last year because of Amazon's voluntarily collection of sales tax and 6% in June. Retailers support 1 in 4 American jobs. Retailers add nearly 4 jobs for every $1 million of increased sales, and just 1 job for every $1 million of sales. 93% of Americans say that local retailers are important to this community and the economic development of their community. E-fairness is critical to the survival of small business. 95% of all small businesses operate with 1 location, fewer than 5 employees. All this is doing is putting it in the hands to go back to the legislature to be voted on what we're doing tonight. So again, I want to ask the council again to vote your convictions. I think that was expressed by Alderman Long a few minutes ago. But if they get the 300 in there on that deal, then they will take that to the governor, and then he will call a special session, and our legislative body will vote on that. Pardon me? I'll be happy, Debbie. Come on up and state your name and address for the record.